Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Powerful Man Show. I am your host, Doug Holt, with my co-host, Tim, the Powerful Man Matthews. Tim, how's it going, brother?
Very well indeed.
How did, I know it started as a joke when I started calling you the Powerful Man Matthews, Tim the Powerful, and I love how it's continued. In fact, it's interesting that you get hurt if I don't say it at this point.
Yep. It's my only point of significance in the week, Doug.
There you go. There you go.
It's like taking away a bottle from a newborn baby.
Yep.
It's taking away the nipple, however you feed it. It's not nice.
However you feed it. However you feed kids. That's awesome. Now, Tim, you brought up a topic before we hit record, as we usually, you and I spend, 5-10 minutes just chatting back and forth. But you brought up something that you heard from one of the guys that you thought might be relevant to the guys that are listening. What was that?
Yeah, I don't know about you guys. I mean, I've been in this position myself. Even with Amelia at times, my relationship with Amelia is, God, so much better than any other relationship I've had. But even still, this still happens from time to time. And it's, what to do when your wife checks out, like emotionally, right? And this is more so in relation to, although, whatever it means to you, right? When your wife checks out, whether she ignores you when you walk in the door in an evening after a busy day of work, whether you guys have become like roommates and you just exchange, niceties and spend the evening on your phones, not engaging with one another. Or maybe she checked out and said, look, I don't want to be with you, but this literally happened to a guy. Look, I don't want to be with you, but right now with coronavirus, you can't move out. So we won't tell the kids yet, but I found somebody else. And he's wanting to win her back, but she is checked out. She is gone. Now that checkout can either be momentarily, it can be a little bit longer, or it can be she's gone. I'm done. I still love you, but I can't be with you. Which was one of the most painful things you can hear as a guy, especially if you love the woman too and she's the mother of your kids. So I just wanted to dive into this a little bit, Doug, and I think let's take two approaches here. Let's share a little bit what happens as to why, what leads to the women checking out. So hopefully if any guys are listening, maybe they can see some signs if it's happening with them and why it's happening. And the third bit, how they can recover it from that point. Even these guys who have had their wives say, hey, look, I love you, but I can't be with you. I'm checked out, because we have had guys recover that position, right?
Oh, yeah.
Or even if the checkout's the cold shoulder, or getting into bed and your wife rolls over and faces the other way. How do you go from check out to check in?
Great. Well, I mean, this is going to be a lot longer than we're going to be able to cover in a podcast, but we'll go over some of the basics here. So how does it happen? Right? Was your first question, I believe. Mm-hmm. And what happens is, you got to remember, I think, go back to the beginning, is when you guys first met and you were pursuing, or she was pursuing you perhaps, and how in love you were, how when you were near each other was just electricity, and how much time you spent thinking about each other, messaging each other, maybe text messages, emails, calls, whatever it may be. And when, you were with her, time stopped, right? Then you looked into her eyes. Now, my guess is for these guys and all you guys listening is that's just the opposite, right? You hardly spend time together and you're more like roommates, right? At this point. And so what happens, Tim, is we take each other for granted, right? In this case, or we'll just talk about the guy's perspective, or what we do. We take our wives and our spouses for granted. We stop telling them how beautiful they look. We stop noticing their haircuts, their nails, the way they dress. We stop complimenting them on the way they look. It's kind of like, I used to joke about it when I was in college is, there's only so many ways you could cook chicken. It's still chicken. It doesn't taste good after a while. But that happens. What I meant by that then, and then, 20 plus years later at this point, is that we have to find variety in there. You have to find the nuances in the relationship. And if you've let that die, then you've lost that connection and that intimacy. And for women, intimacy is much more than just physical sex. And they're looking for, intimacy outside the bedroom. They say that foreplay starts usually even a day in advance, if not hours and hours before you're actually physically touching for a woman. And the men have lost that. And as they've lost that intimacy, the woman has lost within inside her femininity and her desire as well, right? So the woman needs to be desired, right? That means the man has to desire her. And once that's gone away and the woman doesn't feel desired, she wilters. She starts to crumble, and she withers is the word I was looking for, withers with inside of herself. And when that happens and she wakes up and realizes that she's been withering, so to speak, and slowly dying as a woman, then she's going to step out. She's going to look at you and say, that's the problem. And you guys are going to take more space. And then she's going to look outside the relationship, right, to fulfill those needs, to fulfill that desire. And it really only takes one guy, a clerk, a cashier, someone at work, her trainer, someone at the gym, or somebody just noticing her because you've forgotten to notice her. You haven't taken the time. You care about her, you love her, but you've stopped doing those little things that you used to do and taking care of her and letting her know that she is your woman. She is the most beautiful woman in the world. And you stop cherishing and honoring her. And so she's looked outward for that.
Okay. So now going to, you kind of touched on it then a little bit, right? With what you can do when she's checked out. But let's say that she's checked out, right? Like this guy, for instance, his wife literally did that. She then decided that she wanted to be with somebody who was actually a friend. He knew him rather.
That's usually the case.
Yeah.
Because of proximity.
Yeah. So let's say that they're in that position, or you even have an inclination, right? Because most guys will say, you know, my wife would never do that. She'd never have an affair. But let's just, guys, listening to this, let's just invite you to just play with this concept for a minute and just consider, okay, well, what if my wife was to be paid attention to by somebody else? And let's just say for a moment that she was to respond and she was starting to get the attention that she craves and that she deserves. And she's starting to pull away. Most guys will feel it anyway when the woman's pulling away, right? Certain things, she'll stop talking to you about how her day was. She'll stop offloading lots of different things. Yeah.
I'll say most guys will feel it, but they'll feel it 6 months too late.
Yeah. So guys, let's cut that 6 month period down to today. Maybe it'll help some of you guys. So let's just assume that for a moment you're there. Doug, let's assume these guys are there. They've been given the news that, hey, do you know what? I'm done. I love you, but I just can't be with you. I've found someone else. I've checked out. In that position, the most extreme, if you will, position, what advice, let's say we were working with these guys, what advice, in summary, really, would you be able to give to recover that point?
There's a number of things, and we're going to sound like a broken record here, but you need to work on yourself because you can't see beauty in someone else until you see the beauty in yourself, right? Truly see the beauty in someone else. So if you're constantly having negative self-talk, picking on yourself, I'm too fat, whatever, getting mad at yourself, you're not going to be able to truly appreciate the beauty of your spouse. Like she'll know it. She'll know that you're not secure inside. So let's assume that you've overcome that hurdle. Maybe you've gone to an alpha reset or something to get to that level. Then what you get to do is add to your Alpha Rise and Shine program, your morning routine, some kind of gratitude for your wife. So I'm going to recommend 10 acts of gratitude, listing 10 acts of gratitude about your spouse every single day, consistently, for a minimum of 30 days. For most of you guys, it's going to be 90 days or longer. 10 things every day that you're grateful for and that you love about your spouse. And the reason this is, Tim, is this is going to reflect in your actions and the energetic output that you're giving to your spouse. She's going to feel and sense this, right? All of a sudden, she's going to become nicer. All of a sudden, she's going to become more beautiful. All of a sudden, she's going to be a better person. And really, the only thing that's changed is your perception, thus your energy and that she's going to receive that, right? It's like magnets, you know, you want to get in the same vibration, if you want to call it that, for attraction. And the next thing you want to do is date her. Date her. Imagine your wife did leave and you want to get her back. How would you act? Well, you would call her up, you would flirt with her, you'd take her out on dates, right? You plan a nice evening, movie, you know, you'd be trying to get laid. You would really pull out all the stops to win her back. So I'm going to suggest you do that before she leaves. Do that before she walks out the door. So you don't have to fight to get her back, but yet you go into a deeper state of intimacy, right? You go into a deeper state of love and connection than you are currently, right? And so something else that I do is a game I play with for myself. I'll do it with my wife, and I'll actually do it with staff too, is I'll give 3 compliments a day. 3 genuine compliments. So Tim, I'm going to use you as an example right now for anybody that can see the video.
I've received this practice from you.
You have not received this practice from me. So we're only talking about people that you're worried they're going to leave your life, not people you want. But if it was you, Tim, like I might
never
say,
take that person for granted.
Yeah. But I might say something along the lines of, "Hey, man, you got a lot of great energy today. Like, I love how much positivity you brought to the team and staff meeting today. It was absolutely awesome." Right? That's a genuine compliment that Tim can receive, right? And that's going to add up over time. It's going to parlay into our relationship over time as well. And I might go into something else, like, you know, I love the Powerful Man polo you're wearing. It's crisp, it's black, it looks smooth, and it matches your hat. So you guys get the idea. So you want to go for those 3 compliments every single day. Make sure they're genuine. And there's going to be days where you're like, I can't come up with one, you know? So one of the ones you can use, it's an easy one. It's like, I love the way you raise our kids. Or I love the fact, and I'm thankful that you gave birth to our children. Or I'm thankful that, you know, when I think back when we first started dating, of how much we laughed together. And I really love that. So you can come up with something like that, but something current is always good too, right? It's the best. You know, I love the way you smile. It really lights up my day. It's easy to do. Now, if you're doing the inner work and you're concurrent with yourself, this makes it really easy. And if you're not, this gives you a good practice to do for yourself. So I'm going to have you double down in 10 things you're grateful about your spouse, but 10 things you're grateful about yourself as well. So now you have 20. It's going to take a little bit more time, so make sure it's in your calendar, right? But this is going to change your entire outlook. And what's going to happen is you're going to become sexier. You're going to become all of a sudden better looking to your spouse. And there's no weight loss supplements or magic pills that you need to take. It's just your energetic return. We've all seen this, guys. You've all seen a beautiful woman with a guy who is on a scale of 1 to 10, a 4. But the difference wasn't he was rich. It was how he carried himself. He made her laugh. He made her feel special. It's who he was on the inside and how he made people around him feel. All of us have that power. It's a matter of tapping it into ourselves. And that comes through actually really loving yourself and being secure with who you are as a man.
I love it. I'm going to tell you one thing to avoid, and it's the mistake that many men make. So for so long, for maybe 5, 10, 15 years in the lead up to landing in this position where your wife has said, "Hey, I love you, but I just can't be with you." You know, the pendulum has been so focused on business, usually, anyway. You know, if you're familiar with the show, then obviously you'll know we speak about outside in living versus inside out, and how the outside in's back to front and not have anything left for the other territories, like your relationships, because you're so focused on business. So, you know, in that place with the 5 agonies, no man's land, the focus is very much on business, right? The pendulum is swung all the way over to the right-hand side where business is. And then when you hear, "I love you, but I just can't be with you like this," it's the, "oh shit" moment. And the pendulum swings all the way to the left-hand side and goes and focuses on winning your wife back. And it's usually in that place that you risk coming across as being quite inauthentic, because you can start becoming maybe needy. You start, you know, "Hey, what time do you finish work, babe? I'm going to pick you up." And you arrive with flowers and you're like, "Hey, let's go on a date." And she's like, This is weird. Who is this guy? He comes across as being very inauthentic and needy just because you need her, right? And most guys think that this will actually win her back because you're showing her how much you love and how much you care. But it usually does the opposite. It actually pushes her further away because she has given you a massive prod to say, hey, I love you, but I can't be with you like this. Your foundation has then crumbled. And one of the reasons why she's given you the prod and said, hey, I love you, but I can't be with you like this, is because she isn't feeling any leadership from you. So then when you come across with the pendulum all the way to the left-hand side, sacrificing such a big part of who you are in business, you solidify her idea that she can't trust you. You are not a man that can lead her. Therefore, she is not safe, as Doug was saying. So there's a balance between all the way on the right-hand side of business, all the way to the left-hand side. Imagine the pendulum just lands in the middle. And kind of like those stress relief balls, they just tick across from side to side, right? They stay within a range. You can stay within that range. Even just swinging down from the right-hand side to the midway point is enough, because then you can create these date nights that Doug was saying and give these compliments from a place of authenticity without needing anything in return. And it's when you don't need anything in return, such as the acknowledgement or the approval or the security that, hey, she's not going to leave, you're not going to leave, you're not going to leave. Because my bet is that guy, that needy guy that is like, hey, don't leave, that isn't the guy she fell in love with, right?
No.
So, exactly. So you become a guy that, again, she wasn't attracted to in the first place, which the neediness makes you even less attractive, less desirable to her. And you wanting to spark that desire, of course. So just something to consider, right? And, the whole checking out, it might just have been for last night. Maybe you got in and maybe, you said a sharp word. You snapped at the kids because you'd been, isolated all day, whatever, quarantined all day. And maybe she checked out last night. And maybe you slept on the sofa. She slept in the bed. You went to bed late, separate times, and you've woken up and maybe it's still a bit frosty. You can adopt these principles now. You can swing that pendulum to the middle now. You can do the journaling now and recover it. The same principles would apply, obviously, if it's further down. But the best time to use these principles is before there is a problem.
Yeah. Well, it's exactly like, my wife and I are doing a relationship course right now. You and your spouse, your partner, I should say, are doing a course on intimacy right now with a coach. I learned a long time ago, and you and I talk about it, Tim, is you sharpen the saw before you need to use the saw, so to speak, mm-hmm. with your game. And take action before you need to take action is a much better place to be. As a business, it's the same idea, right? Right now with COVID-19 or the coronavirus going around, those people who had smart financials and alternative revenue streams are doing great. They're taking advantage of opportunities. Those that are panicking and scrambling are getting screwed, and they're probably not going to be around. It's the same with your relationships. Take action now. Take action before you need to, but if you need to, definitely double down and take action. This is the time to get it done and do it right.
Mm-hmm. Very true.
Gentlemen, if you'd like more information on this and how other men have done it themselves, go over to theactivationmethod.com. That's theactivationmethod.com, where you can see Tim.
The Alpha Reset. Thealphareset.com. This is why I'm here.
All right, Billy. All right, go back. Guys, if you find yourself in the same situation and you'd like to learn more about how other men have done it before, go over to thealphareset.com. That's thealphareset.com, where you can see Tim, the powerful man, Matthews himself, delivering a few trainings, as well as the option to get on a call with one of our master coaches. Guys, that's it for us today. Remember, take action on what you've heard and have an amazing day. We'll see you next time on The Powerful Man Show.